Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is the long overdue Mother's Day get ready with me. I just gave you guys some snippets and I wanted to demo a underpainting and also a new foundation that I found on Amazon. So right here I'm going to start with my Essence Hydrating Primer. I did my skincare routine, which you can find on TikTok or scroll down on YouTube if I have it. If not, definitely on TikTok on how I prep my skin for preparing for makeup. And I just want to talk about a little tips and tricks. So, how did everyone spend their Mother Day? For me, I had to work, but it was really, really nice. I'm not going to lie. Now, of course, I woke up really not in the mood because no matter how much time passed, it just automatically just gets you into that mood when you realize that you are a motherless child. This is actually my 16th Mother's Day without my mom. And I enjoy seeing other people with their mothers and stuff, but sometimes I feel like I was cheated, and maybe I'll do a story time on my life one day because I swear a lot of people be having this big misconception about me or whatever. And I was like, maybe one day I'll talk about my life, but you can only say so much before people just starts to understand on their level or comprehend on their level. So right here, I went in with the NYX glue primer, and I really like this primer, but the e.l.f. gripper primer will always be number one for me. I do want to try the milk hydro primer. As I am in my own personal kit, I'm focusing more on face. And when I say with my kit, my personal collection as a makeup artist, but also a former makeup hoarder, is except when it comes to lashes and brushes. That addiction is there. To be honest, the only thing that changed with me is I don't buy a lot of eyeshadow palettes like I used to, and I don't really collect much. I know that Wet n Wild has a SpongeBob collection, and by well, I did say Wet n Wild, have a SpongeBob collection, and I didn't go ham. I think I'm just gonna wait to see. I think I'm just gonna get the two book sacks, and right here, I have did my underpainting. I use the Made by Mitchell. I do have a demo of that on my TikTok. I use the medium and the deep. I absolutely love the Made by Mitchell. It gives you that skin-like finish. And underpainting is perfect for people who do not like to wear heavy foundation. You just like to wear a skin tint. But I'm going to be honest with you and tell you this. Yes, you can wear a skin tint in certain areas. But if you are like me and you have dark marks, like extremely dark marks, I have them on my chin. As y'all know, that my number one pet peeve, if you've been following me for a long time, is that I'm trying to get rid of these dark marks. I'm at my wit's end. I'm thinking about going ahead and just doing the skin peeling because sis needs to do that or whatever. But I did fall off of my skincare routine and I'm trying to get back on it. So you'll see that journey back into my skincare routine and also back into getting on into better eating and clean eating. Right here, as you can see, if I'm looking a little heavier than I used to, it's because I suffer with PCOS and the hormone imbalance plus with perimenopause. It is getting terrible. And if you are like me, then you know how frustrating it is to get the proper medication and the proper diagnosis from the doctors and stuff like that. And so I'm working on trying to heal my own self. But as you can see right here, I'm taking these brushes, and I like to use a brush when blending in. I know a lot of people like to use beauty blenders, but I don't. But again, here is the tip again. If you don't like full coverage foundation and you like heavy, skin tints, I can't talk today, and you want to start with underpainting, I did do some color correcting. I normally don't do it, but I went in and I actually did some color correcting. You're going to either A, have to do color correcting, or B, you're going to have to use a orange base foundation on the dark marks, set it with your translucent powder, and then go over with your skin tint. Now that's free game. Okay, normally people pay for stuff like that, but I'm giving you free game. So yeah, I'm just blending in everything. And don't worry if it's not perfect because I'm going over this with foundation and you're going to see it's going to be totally different. Now, when I first started out doing makeup on myself, I used to do this underpainting. And it wasn't intentionally. Trust me, it was just that I would do it underneath and then add foundation because I didn't know how to contour and highlight. So I have come a very long way after many, many years of trials and error. So right here, I got this foundation off of Amazon. Me being nosy on Amazon, I came across this and it was just $4. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and try this. Now, if you follow me for a long time, you have been a long time subscriber, you already know, and I've said this in plenty of videos, that I like to wear my foundation a shade darker because I like a blinding highlight. But this rip right here, I decided to go ahead and go with my skin tone because the next shade down was definitely going to be too dark. I mean, up was definitely going to be too dark. So I had to go in with my foundation. Now, I don't know if it was did I use a hydrating primer or was it because I use translucent powder, which I normally don't anymore. Like when I'm trying to do a all day setting, I will go in with a hydrating primer, a blurring primer first, a hydrating, I'm sorry, I will go in with a hydrating primer first. Then I will go in with my e.l.f. blurring primer or my refined beauty primer. And then I will go in with my either my e.l.f. gripping primer or the NYX glue primer, and then I will use translucent powder in certain areas of my face. But this time it started separating maybe like 2 or 3 hours after I did my makeup, which is normal. It didn't separate all over my face. It just separated like around my lip area. This was a very full coverage. This is a very full coverage foundation. So if you're not into full coverage, this will not be for you. And it wasn't bad for $4. I mean, it kind of reminded me of a higher end foundation, so that's why I was curious to try it. And another tip, if you're not into foundations and you're like, look, I don't, I'm not into that. I just don't see myself buying foundations. I do have a video, two actually, where one I did a whole face using concealers, and two, I have one using the Ruby Kisses 3D Face Creators. And you can scroll down for that. So as you can see right here, I am blending. And yes, please blend behind your ears and up behind your neck because, of course, you want to look, you don't want to look two-tone. As you can see, I ended up matching my foundation to my chest. Normally, I don't do that because, like I said, I like my foundation to be a shade darker because, baby, I loves me a bright highlight. That's just my thing. So, I did do those two where you can use foundations to create a beautiful look, and you can use the Ruby Kisses 3D Face Creators, and you can find those on either rubykisses.com. You could probably go on Amazon and get it, or you'll probably get it cheaper if you go to your local beauty supply store. So just peruse a beauty supply store in the neighborhood and you can get those. And they come in several different levels, not colors, shades. It starts at level one being the fairest. And I want to say about 14. I think it goes to 14 or 16 being the darkest shade. Now, I like to use those too as well when I'm doing makeup because it is perfect for those who wants a very natural look. It gives that natural look like the Made by Mitchell curve case palette. And if you are interested in that as well, you can head over to my TikTok. I have a TikTok shop where some of the products that I use are listed. Some of the products that I use are just they're not on TikTok yet. But definitely you can shop the curve case. You will not be disappointed. And now he has a matching powder to go with the cream as well. So that is a bonus. I ended up catching that, so now I have an extra medium for myself for when I run out, and I have the powder to go with it. I also have like his bronzers, his lip glosses and stuff for that as well. I've been following Made by Mitchell since he first, like before the rage of UK makeup and makeup artists, like forever, like years, like when he was like a teenager. I used to enjoy watching his makeup. So right here, as you see, I added two layers. I always like to start off with thin layers. I work in thin layers, and I work all the way up. By the time I get to where my eye area under my eye is just whatever product is on the brush. And here you rarely see me do this, but I like to use a damp beauty blender when I feel like it's too much excess and I need to work in and take off the excess. That's what I use the beauty blender for. Or when I'm doing my first set of setting certain areas like under my eye or my whole face. I use dry to like bake, but I definitely use like damp to like set everything. So right here, as you see, I'm working everything in. And this foundation is beautiful. I'm using this under natural light. So this is not a ring light that I'm doing this with, but this is the natural light. So yeah, for Mother's Day, my girls gave me a brunch, and I got a beautiful gifts, including a bag that I've been wanting. So this is the finished look. Like I said, this wasn't the entire video. I was just demonstrating this new foundation that I added to my collection, and also want to show y'all a little underpainting. As you can see, you can still see that I did the underpainting, and don't worry, I did correct my blush. I never was a person that really liked to wear a lot of blush, but lately, baby, I've been wearing blush. I found I'm like this blush just creates the look in general. You know how they say highlight crease balances out the look, but it was like, nah, I love blush. I like to put it on. So right here, I went into several palettes or a few palettes or whatnot. I went into the Patrick Star times MAC Cosmetics palette, and we all know how long ago this collection dropped. This was when I was like an avid collector of makeup. Like I had to have the latest drops of certain makeups and stuff. I always look forward to it. I used to be always in the know. You can go and watch when I thought I was going to finally be able to work for Mac. I have a whole video on that. But like I said, as time goes and you start to get more and more into your craft, you realize that there's only so many neutral palettes. There's so many colorful palettes that you can buy. Now I am upgrading my professional kit, but I'm narrowing it down. I'm down to carrying just one full bag instead of 2 and 3 bags. Like, honey, we're not doing all that anymore. So I already know what works. The only thing that I am upgrading is the foundation. I have been using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation for years on my clients, but I discovered L'Oreal True Match, and I do want to add NARS. Like NARS is another one of my favorite makeup brands, and their foundations just are just tea for expensive. I also like Estee Lauder's Double Wear and Smashbox as well. So I'm upgrading my kit foundations, and then I'm just adding like the Made by Mitchell curve case and some more highlighting and contour palettes, and I might add just like one more colorful and one more neutral palette, and just upgrade to a, like clean out, throw away outdated, and just upgrade. Now for me, when it comes to my personal kit, I'm not my personal collection. For me, it's just the faces, like concealers, bronzers, and foundations. I don't really buy, like I said, too much of the eyeshadow palettes. I think I'm straight on eyeshadow palettes. Like I seen some, but I was like, nah, I don't think so. I think I'm just straight on palettes, but we'll see. I definitely love lip glosses. I am a lip gloss girl now. So I'm back to wearing lipsticks. I was wearing liquid lipsticks. I rotate between those two, but I love a good lip gloss. And so for my professional collection, I am adding more lip glosses in different colors. And I do like, oh my goodness, I do like the Ruby Kisses lip glosses. Those are the equivalent to the Fenty. They're the dupe to the Fenty ones, and they are really really pigmented, and I really love them. So I was like, okay, I have them in my collection, so let me add into my kit. I was just checking out to see how I want to do the other side, because remember, what you do to one side, you need to do to the other. I also had got this tip from another makeup artist, and they were like, when you take your clients' pictures or whatnot, like create a separate album and like take and write like all the products that you use like on the pictures. Like you can just, like write them on the picture. Therefore, if someone sees that look and they're like, "Ooh, I want to wear this look again," you remember all of the products. And then I was scrolling on TikTok today and I came across another person that was doing makeup, and she was like, she takes like the Neutrogena face makeup removers, and she stretches it and she presses it into her face to save the look. She let it dry overnight, and she does an album, and in the album she just writes like the products that she used or the moods or whatever she want to write at that moment. So I was like, that is a really good idea. But for me, it's basically just going to create a separate album and just write all the products, or the eyeshadow palettes that I use. And also, if you have like a shade twin or whatever, um, you would be able to know like what makeup shade, like what makeup foundation that you use on that client. So I was like, that is a really good idea, and I definitely need to do that. So as you can see right there, I use the Warrior 2, the Juvia's Place Warrior 2 palette. And then I went in with the LA Colors white concealer that I also use under my eyes to brighten. And now I'm going in with the Icy Nude. I do believe in wearing cool tones in the summer, maybe with a pop of color, because I do like that. Um, I find that I'm starting to get more into silver jewelry, even though I'm a rose gold girl. Gold girl, I find that um, cool tones on warm skin is just so pretty, and it's just fun just being able to experiment with different finishes. So right here, I added that. Um, then I also went to my mother's grave as well for Mother's Day, and I put some balloons and had a heartfelt moment with her or whatnot. And then I was able to go to work that night. So I enjoyed my Mother's Day. It's always how you make it or whatever. I didn't really plan too much because I knew I had to go to work, and you can't. There's only so much that you can do. Unfortunately for me, I always seem to fall on working on Mother's Day, but mysteriously, I'm always off for Father's Day. Like, why do I need to be off for Father's Day? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? But um, I always end up having a schedule like that. So right here, I went into Julia's Place. I want to say that's the Culture 2 palette. And I added some blue. Now, the only thing I was mad about was the dress that I initially wanted to wear for Mother's Day. Being when you have PCOS and you have fibroids and you have hormone imbalance and perimenopause, you can go into bloating. And right here, I was bloated and it just didn't look right. So I ended up opting out for my blue, uh, nice little wide leg jumper. And I put that on because I was like, look, I'm not going to change this eyeshadow look for another outfit. It's just going to do what it do. And I was still able to wear the shoes that I wanted to wear with it. Right here, I'm lining my lips with the Fenty Beauty lip liner, and I want to say that's Cold Blooded. And then I went in with the Ruby Kisses lip liner, and I want to say Tiramisu. And then I went in with a MAC lipstick. Now everybody has been wearing like red lipsticks, and I have too. But I want to see us bring back colorful lips, like like we used to wear, because now that we have gotten a little advanced in makeup, we understand that you can wear a yellow lip, you can wear a green lip, you can wear a blue lip, but it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. Just don't put it all over your lip. Like, do a little ombre and just put like the blue in the middle or whatever. It's not going to look crazy. Right here, I just ordered this lipstick, but it made me think of heroin. I was like, okay, I got to pull my girl back out because it's been years since I wore her. And I do have a collection, a MAC collection that I can show y'all. And that just wasn't the entire collection. I was just showing y'all some of the lipsticks because baby, back in the day, I was a MAC girl, and I do have a video explaining why I was just obsessed with MAC. This is called Violet Vaporport, and I was like, you know what, it's been some years since I wore a purple lipstick, and I'm gonna have some fun. So a girl was saying how she missed seeing colorful looks. Well, honey, I've always been doing colorful looks. So this is the completed look right here of how I wore my makeup for Mother's Day. And I hope that you guys had a wonderful Mother's Day and got everything that you wanted. This is right here was the completed look. And I was heading out. to go enjoy my festivities. So I hope that you guys liked this, and I hope I didn't ramble on or confuse anyone, but I was just trying to just talk through the video because I can't put any music because y'all know how YouTube is, what they flag you. And I will see you guys in another video. You can follow me on all my social medias. I am on Threads under tshovanbeauty. All of my social medias are tshovanbeauty. And I will see y'all again in the next video.